I'm really honored to be present here. Thank you very much, Dr. Rahul Karad, Vice Chancellor Sahab, Director Mr. Dheeraj Singh, and people who are sitting in the three winners of this prestigious award, Award for Freedom, Smita Prakash ji, Jawahar Sarkar ji, and everyone present here, dear students. I was also a member of the jury which gave this award, Journalism for Peace Award. And I will not get into the great details of it, but while we were selecting this award, there was a sort of discussion among various jury members, and we just deliberated what constitutes, peace. Because if you look at peace has a very different connotation, but I think for journalism, and I think my friend Mr. Bapat had elaborated upon it, that when we talk about peace in journalism, it means samvad, a kind of dialogue. I would go just going by the entries, and I must say the entries were very good. Many of them deserve many more prizes. Three persons, Mr. Sushil Mohapatra, Neetu Singh, and Ravleen Kaur, of course, they stood out, but the others were also very good. So in some ways, when we talk about journalism for peace, it does not mean compromise. It does not mean, going along with the system or trying to be cozy with the powers that are. In fact, many a times journalism demands element of confrontation, because unless you do not expose what is going on at various levels, from a municipality to a Lok Sabha constituency, parliamentary level, you would not be doing your duty. So like we say that all wars are for peace, then similarly a journalism is also is not for is for peace, but peace in a different context, to be raising some issues. And that is where I think, because most of your media students, you would realize there is a kind of clash of interest, because you want to expose, or you want to highlight the kind of oversights that is happening in society, in the system, whether it is a municipal authority or a state government or the central government, and yet you will be doing your duty. So we must, as a journalist, as a practitioners of media, we must understand a fine distinction that exists between the state, the Indian state, about which all of us have a total commitment and sense of duty, and the government that is representing the political parties that are in power, be it at the center or in the state. So therefore, we cannot have a sense of devotion that that exists for the state of India, the Union of India, and similarly for the government, or for the state governments, or for municipal authority, etc. So you must keep that in mind, because this is something. When we talk about, Mr. Jawahar Sarkar spoke at length about the challenges of new media. These are the many challenges that are there. You have to stand on your feet. I'm very privileged, actually. I got a chance to work with the ANI, that Asian News International. Smita Prakash is she's sitting here. We work together, and I always believe that ANI was ahead of its time, always, because it was the first one to recognize this concept of multimedia, a kind of print journalism, television journalism, private channel. She had a program called Ghumta Aina. I don't know whether you remember it. It was a kind of weekly show, and where she would have many feature stories, stories that came from Odisha, from Gujarat, from several other states, and she used to send us out to get this kind of capture these oddities, and we did some very good stories. I remember that was one of my finest time of my political career. Here, when we are talking about it, I must also tell you something from my own interaction and experience, that you are at that MIT-WPU in journalism courses. You are at the best place, and I'm not saying just because I'm sitting below this marvelous dome and the kind of surroundings that are very good. You are in very good hands because the kind of curriculum you have, the kind of sense of inquiry you have, the kind of deliberations that are taking place. And I remember, I have received, I don't know whether I should disclose this or not. Sometime at then I received, a telephone call from Mr. Rahul Karad, and he was very keen to, discuss some of the very finer aspects of journalism and media. Imagine he's your trustee, he's a very busy man, there are so many departments are there and so many things that he's doing. But he has so much of heart in media because like the leadership programs, I think he understands the value of journalism department, the kind of because journalism is not like a factory of engineers and doctors. It requires a lot of thinking. It's a matter of choice. It's a very difficult thing. I think when we talk about, if we look back, my fellow panelists may correct me if I'm saying it. If we look back at the 75 years, 76 years of post-independent India media, it will be a story of a glass being half full or half empty. We have done a lot, we have achieved a lot. At the same time, a lot needs to be done. It's work in progress. There are newer and newer challenges that are there. Some of it, Mr. Jawahar Sarkar very well articulated with facts and figures. There are all kind of challenges are there. But we must remember these challenges were there in the past also during the emergency. I also take this opportunity to thank this Lakshman Memorial museum that is being set up, and Mr. R.K. Lakshman was of course a very inspirational figure for all of us. The way he conducted himself, the kind of challenges he faced, and I think when I came here, I found a focus on Lakshman Museum as a real value addition. So, and that also tells you about journalism that he and Mr. Bala Sahab Thackeray started together. A very different kind of kind of work they did, and they shaped up, and both have their own kind of legacy. So it's journalism as such is not whatever you do, it need not be a bad or it is for you to decide which area you want to dwell upon and take it thing, but you have to follow your heart. A lot of people say, oh, media is going wrong. I am not so sure whether the media is going wrong. Remember, media largely caters to certain, like they say in Hindi, Sahitya Samaj ka darpan hai. Similarly, media also mirrors the kind of conflicts that we are having, whether it is political, social, economic. Please don't think that I'm endorsing it. I'm just trying to give you a glimpse of it. So there are a lot of things that are happening at societal level. Somewhere it is, with the TV channels debate, because after all it is watched, it is TRP driven, it's private enterprise. So a lot of the kind of debate and the conversation that is happening, we may go on condemning and criticizing it. We have a right to do it. We also have a remote control with us, which we can change channel. But the kind of their success, if you look at the revenue record of many of the TV channels, etc., it tells you that there are people who are watching it. And if people are watching it, then it is for the community. It is for the, the spiritual leader, the religious leader, the community leaders, and other stakeholders to, of course, and not to talk of, teaching community and etc., to have a look at it, that why it is happening. If there is a drift, if there is a conflict, if there is an element of hate, that's there. One more thing I want to tell you, that many of us are taught, I was also, when I was studying journalism, I was told, that we are the fourth pillar. It's as if journalism or media has a special place. Please don't be under that illusion. There is no law. There is nothing that tells you that the members of fourth pillar have any kind of legal or constitutional protection. We are just like any other citizen. We are governed or ruled by same set of laws that applies to everyone else. So we don't have that privileged thing. We should not have any notion of it. In fact, I was just when I was very attentive listening to Mr. Rahul Karad, and he was talking about various things and what is the society. Actually, he has hit the nail, and it's very important when we keep talking about corruption and all. We don't. I think the last time I was here, I had made a mention about it. That is a direct correlation with the lack of electoral reforms, like that kind of very expensive elections. and why this Vanshpad, what we call it, dynasty culture is thriving. This is not an endorsement or a defense of dynasty. Dynasty culture is existing and thriving in politics. But why is it so? Because we have a very corrupt electoral system. Every election costs 10 times, 4 times that ceiling limit of 45,000 in state, 45 lakhs in state assembly elections and 75 lakhs for parliament. So people are spending 10 times more and perhaps benefiting 10 times of that more when they get elected. Now, how is that management of money takes place? It's a very, I'm just, because you are many of them are media students, I'm just giving you a thinking point. And please, I'm again emphasizing, this is not a kind of endorsement, because money is safe when it is there in family hands. So there is a dependency model that exists, a very corrupt system. But this is how they kind of, cater to each other. So instead of being very critical or looking things in black and white, we must look at, as media students, the shade of gray. Why is a certain kind of system is working or flourishing? Why is, a particular political party is winning? Why is political party losing? How is coalition politics, working, failing, faltering, and coming back again? Because political parties don't want to, do the hard work. So they think that, five parties come together, they'll still be in power. And there is one political party that's working like a, election machine and winning election. So all this, what I'm saying in a nutshell, you must understand as a students of media, whether you are in print, digital, or any other forum, television, you must understand the process and structure. There are a lot of things that they need to talk about, like, the media ownership, media control, structure, process, revenue. I think Mr. Bapat again talked about 3-4 things. You see, if things are going wrong in Indian media, this is also to do the kind of ownership and control we have. I remember meeting a very prominent owner of a Hindi newspaper. I asked him, I said, what is your vision for media? He said, "Athani uchhalu to rupiya niche gire." That's what I want. I mean, I was aghast. He was saying that, he's there to, multiply money. I remember when Mayawati was Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, the lot of channels came up in UP. And what was the reason? Because the channels were a very good access to meet the Chief Minister. So a very big builder told me, he said he has set up a channel because he wants to have easy access with the Chief Minister. Now, God save this profession. If that's the thing that, you are getting 50 lakh rupees or 1 crore to set up a channel just to have access to the Chief Minister. I think these are the pointers I'm saying. I think Smita Prakash ji and others could dwell upon more. You have 3 days to talk about it. And I want to, whatever time, I think you can ask any question that you do fit with me or Mr. Jawahar Sarkar, Smita Prakash. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.